When the internet began, bulletin board services, or BBS, became the first online communities of the so-called information superhighway. Using their phone lines, people logged in from all over America to talk about sports, games, movies, and on one BBS in particular, share their ghost stories. Over time, those communities all went dark, except for one lone server that continues to operate somewhere in an unknown part of Pennsylvania's Rust Belt. A relic of the 1990s, veiled in mystery, it is a digital archive of humanity's strangest encounters with the unknown, as told by the people who experienced them. My name is Brandon Schexnayder, and you are listening to Fear Daily.
Subject, Stillwater Lake. User, Jam1EEX0. Posted, August 23, 1999.
I've been fishing Stillwater Lake since before my knees started popping when I squat. I don't go out there for the trophies. Hell, don't even half what I catch. I go because it's the only place that still feels empty enough. You get old and your life shrinks around you. Job's gone, folks dead, kids not calling, and the lake stays the same. Stubborn, quiet, a mirror that don't ever talk back. Every morning, right around first light, I back my old aluminum boat down the mud ramp, pull on my busted rubber boots, and push off into the mist. Same routine for 20 years. Launch, motor out a ways, kill the engine, and just drift. First time I saw it, I figured it was the light playing games. Water does that, makes you see things in the shimmer. It was early March, cold enough to see your breath, but not so cold you freeze your ass off. I was sitting there, nursing a bad coffee from my thermos when a ripple broke across the glassy surface maybe 100 feet out. Long, slow, like somebody dragging a tree branch just under the surface. I thought it was maybe a beaver, a gator, both common enough round Stillwater, but this was bigger, wider, left a groove in the water that went on too long for anything I knew to be living out there. Next morning, nothing. Morning after that, nothing again, but I couldn't shake it, and I told myself it just must have been a log under the current. An illusion that maybe I was just getting jumpy, being alone so much these days. See, last year, my wife Patty finally gave up and moved back to her sister's in Arkansas. Said I was too distant, too small. Whatever the hell that means. She said I made everything smaller, like life got claustrophobic around me since I retired. I guess she wasn't wrong. Anyway, the thing didn't show again for a while, and I started sleeping better. Started believing that, yeah, I imagined it. But then came that one morning. The fog sat heavy on the lake. Thicker than I'd ever seen, like breathing through wet wool. I was casting near the reeds on the east bank when I saw it again, clearer this time. It was a black line under the water, sinuous, maybe 6-8 feet long, or longer. It moved with a slow, deliberate grace. No jerking like a fish, no floating like a log. This thing knew it was being watched. I gripped the gunnels of the boat so hard my knuckles went white. Didn't cast another line that morning, no, just sat there, too scared to move, heart hammering so loud I thought for sure it would hear. Days passed, then weeks. I'd sit there on the lake, hands frozen on my rod, eyes sweeping the water, waiting. Sometimes the mist would part just enough and I'd catch a flash, green-black scales, a ridge breaking the surface, a long ripple that wasn't natural. I stopped telling myself it was nothing. And then came yesterday. Sunrise was late, red and ugly behind thick storm clouds. I should have stayed home, should have read the signs, but the routine is its own kind of leash. I was setting my lines out, motor off, letting the boat drift in the shallows near the western bank, the side with all the old cypress stumps sticking up like rotten teeth. And that's when I saw it. Not a glimpse, not a ripple. The whole goddamn thing. It surfaced slow, like a nightmare dragging itself out of the lake's dark belly. Must have been 12 feet at least, long and thick as a tree trunk, covered in dark, leathery scales that caught the weak sunlight like oiled armor. Its head was blunt, snake-like, but wrong, too wide, too many folds of muscle and jaw. Its eyes were black, lidless pits. It didn't thrash or roar or any of that movie monster bullshit. It just floated there, halfway above water, staring right at me. I could not move, could not think. All I remember is feeling that animal part of me, the lizard brain screaming, "Run, run, run." And then, slow as a funeral march, it turned, slid toward the muddy bank and pulled its bulk up onto the land. It moved like a giant snake, but had limbs, stubby and strong, helping it drag itself through the wet brush. Its body left a trench in the mud, wide as a pickup truck. It slithered up past the tree line and disappeared into the woods without a sound. I sat there for a long time after, the sky going from gray to full morning while I just floated, numb. I haven't been back out since, and I don't know if I ever will. I think about what Patty said sometimes, about how I made everything small. Maybe she was right. Maybe I needed the lake to stay what it was, unchanging, simple. Maybe that's why I saw it. Maybe the world's full of things we don't see just 'cause we can't stand to know how small we really are. Stillwater Lake did not change. I did, and now I can't unsee what's underneath.
Subject, the friend. User, R0S3E45. Posted, January 14th, 1997.
His name's Mr. Lyle, my daughter Hannah said one afternoon while standing barefoot in the hallway of our new house. She was 5, missing her front teeth and gripping the hem of her little sunflower dress. I laughed, of course. Imaginary friends are normal, right? Especially when you rip your kids away from everything they know and plant them in a ranch house 5 states from home because your husband lands a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I didn't blame Greg for taking the job. Really, I didn't. Not out loud, at least. But the days were long in this town, and I didn't know anyone. No coffee dates with my sister, no dinners at Mom's, just endless trips to the grocery store, microwaving chicken nuggets and pushing the double stroller through cracked sidewalks that nobody bothered fixing. I had 3 under 6, Hannah, Mikey, and baby June. My hands were full and my head was fuller. So when Hannah started talking about Mr. Lyle, I didn't think much of it. Maybe it was good she had someone to talk to, a coping thing. And at first, that was cute. She'd leave a chair pulled out at the table for him, pour a 4th cup of tea at her little playset, draw pictures of a tall man with long arms and a funny hat. But then the game started. Mikey, only 3, tried climbing onto the kitchen counter while I was folding laundry, said Mr. Lyle told him he could reach the cookie jar if he jumped just right. June got into the medicine cabinet, screaming red-faced when I found her, trying to twist open the child-proof lid of the Tylenol, and Hannah started sleepwalking. I woke one night to the front door hanging wide open, cool night air sucking at the hallway curtains, and the shrill beeping of the brand new security system Greg had insisted we install. I found Hannah standing barefoot on the front porch, eyes glassy, whispering, "I'm just going outside to play with Mr. Lyle." I brought her in, heart punching my ribs so hard I thought I'd pass out. The next day, I tried to explain it to Greg. Between bites of his dinner, he muttered, "They're adjusting. Kids make up stuff, don't baby it." I wanted to throw the plate at his fucking head. Instead, I called the one mom I had met, Tamara, from the library story hour. I dialed her on the clunky beige phone mounted to the kitchen wall, the cord wrapping itself around my wrist while I talked. Soon enough, we sat over coffee while the kids wrecked her living room, and I finally blurted it all out. The friend, the sleepwalking, the dangerous games. Tamara's smile faltered. "You said his name's Mr. Lyle?" she asked, her voice tightening. I nodded. She leaned in. When we moved into our place down the road, my boy, he's 8 now, he used to talk about someone named Mr. Lyle too. It got bad. She didn't go into details, just shifted uncomfortably like she was afraid saying too much would invite it back. "Kids pick up on things," she said carefully. "Sometimes a place has leftovers." That word stuck in my brain all night. Leftovers. I started noticing little things after that. The baby gate would unhook itself even when I double-checked it. Lights flickering in the hallway where the kids said Mr. Lyle likes to walk. Wet footprints, small, barefoot ones, on the kitchen linoleum at 3 a.m. I banned any talk of Mr. Lyle after that, told the kids he was not real, that he was not allowed in the house anymore, but they didn't listen. They whispered to empty corners. They drew new pictures, ones where Mr. Lyle had bigger teeth, longer arms, eyes like black pits. And every morning, they seemed a little different. Mikey started stuttering. Hannah got nosebleeds. June cried for no reason, big, silent tears rolling down her chubby cheeks. I tried everything. Salt along the door frames, prayers my grandma used to mumble when storms rolled in, telling the house out loud that it couldn't have my babies. None of it worked. Then, the last night we spent there, I woke to the smell of smoke. Not burning wood, burning cloth, curtains, clothes. I ran to the kids' room and found the little lamp on the floor, the rug smoldering, the kids standing in a circle around it, silent and staring, like they were waiting for someone. When I screamed, they didn't even flinch. I grabbed them, all three, and we left everything behind. I didn't even lock the door. I just threw them in the back seat, barefoot, pajamas flapping, and drove. We ended up at Tamara's, and she opened the door without a word. We slept on her living room floor that night, curled up in a pile like stray dogs, and the next morning, she made coffee in her tiny kitchen. She sat next to me at the table, close enough our knees touched, and said, "You're not crazy. I believe you." For the first time since we moved, I didn't feel crazy. I felt like maybe I wasn't alone after all. We're looking for a new place now, somewhere crowded, somewhere loud, somewhere too full of life for Mr. Lyle or anything like him to slither back in. But sometimes I still catch Hannah humming to herself, low and sweet, a tune I never taught her, and she'll glance toward the empty hallway, smiling like somebody's still there, waiting.
Fear Daily is an independent podcast hosted by Brandon Schexnayder and written by Brennan Storr, with Joanna Smith serving as the consulting editor, audio production by Rachel Boyd, and sound design by Southern Gothic Media. This podcast is a work of fiction. Names, characters, places, and incidents are either products of the author's imagination or are used fictitiously. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or to real events or locations, is entirely coincidental. Ad-free versions of Fear Daily are available now on your favorite podcast apps. For more information, visit feardaily.com. But move fast, before the server goes offline.